Cool.
Okay, welcome to Nested Loops. Here's episode two, the best interface is no interface. I'll turn it over to Alex, who's presenting the next chapter.
Cool. All right, I'm sharing my screen and share presentation. Okay, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the best interface is no interface. Chapter 3, slap an interface on it. So the author starts off saying we deserve some credit after the two prior chapters of harshing our design mellows. He says it's impressive what we've achieved with technology. In 2006, the largest hard drive fit about 180 movies. 7 years later, it fits 1,500 movies. In the year 2000, only 15% of American adults had access to high-speed internet. It was 94% 10 years later. So we've made some huge strides in technology, certainly. But then he goes on to say bad trends are forming. As an industry, we have gotten away from problem solving, and now we're just using screening solutions, which is taking us away from real innovation. This is a small graphic from the book that shows the innovation centers around the world. I just thought it was pretty funny. Here's some of the names, lots of valleys and silicon things. I think his point is that it's not very
Are you
original.
changing? Have you changed slides?
Oh, is it not showing?
No. If you're using Keynote, it's broadcasting on a different screen than the one you're on.
Oh, bummer. Right, hold on. Let me see.
So you have to show that or scroll through the thing, not full screen. Scott
Okay.
had this issue once when he tried to do a keynote prezo, and it ended up showing just the GUI because he couldn't figure out how to.
Gotcha. All right. Sorry about that. Here, I think what I'll do then is share my entire screen. Sorry, guys.
No worries. Done it this way.
Okay. So let me see. Can you guys? Is it scrolling through now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we deserve some credit. What we've done in technology, 2006 hard drive, 180 movies. Pretty much saying we've achieved a lot. Bad trends are forming. Gotten away from problem solving. Screen solutions have taken us from real innovation. And then this is that graphic I was talking about that shows the innovation centers around the world. And these are his list of their names. Lots of valleys and silicons, Biocon, Mid Valley, Brazilian Silicon Valley. So I think the point he's making is just that it's not very original. Then we start going through examples of some really important inventions the last 100 years or more, and what we've done with them recently with our big technology leap. So here's a graphic of a car patent. So better car, how we made a better car. So Tesla puts a large interface in their console. BMW has a mini model with a screen, the speedometer, that lets you check tweets and lets you check Facebook. Here's a quote from the author: "Driving is about the road. Nah, it's about screens, bro." So here's the patent for a fridge. How we made a better fridge. So the fridge changed our lives for better. So what have we done to improve? Well, now we can update Evernote when you can erase. We can listen to Pandora from the fridge door, and of course, we can check Facebook again. Trash cans. What have we done for trash cans? Well, we added screens. So we have trash cans that when we're outside using it, they'll tell us what the weather is. We can press buttons to open the flap. It's very much like magic. What about restaurants? What have we done for restaurants? We've added screens to order, so no more talking to people. In the book, talks about a Chili's exec that told the Wall Street Journal that screens get people to buy more things like dessert. So that's great for Americans and their diet. And since everyone's on their phone already at dinner, why not just add another screen? Doesn't matter. What about vending machines? What have we done for vending machines? So yes, we've added touch screens. And why would you want to see the thing you are actually going to get through the glass? When you could just see a picture representation of it. And now you can order all your favorite things through menus and AR screens. And then these are some of the images he shows. This is the car. This is the trash machine, the trash, can with the screen on it. And this is the fridge here.
I gotta say, on that note, a lot of the car apps are very un-car friendly.
Right.
Or I want to say it's true for Amazon Music because I stream Amazon Music, and if I want to change a song, I'm doomed. If I can't Alexify it, which by the way I have a device but I haven't tested it yet. Like I'm on Crash City.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not very. Not a lot of thought about the fact that you can't really focus on the screen maybe while you're driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotify recognizes that I'm driving and changes the interface entirely down to 3 buttons: pause, play, next, back.
Yeah. Although I'll say, I guess just for Spotify, I actually find that like more confusing because it's like not what I'm used to seeing. So I've like turned that off completely. Not that I use it a lot when I'm driving, but like I actually find what Spotify does to be more difficult. But I think that's a good thing to do though. That's just for me. So what the others, this whole chapter was essentially about that screens are not an improvement, right? None of these products were necessarily made better by the screen, and just adding the ability to check Facebook and tweets does not make a good UX. And I have the next chapter. Do we want? Do we go through all of them and then discuss, or should we discuss by chapter?
Chapter's a good break point in between.
Yeah. I guess my thoughts generally on this were, although of course I agree, this book is not super old or anything, but it's also not like extremely current. And while I think that this was like a huge trend, adding screens on fridges, and I know that I'm not saying that it's not done, I don't think it's as big of a trend as it was like 6 years ago. I think people that we actually, maybe through merit of like these kinds of ideas, but I think it's less of a thing now than it was like, I don't think people just like slap screens on things as much as compared to years ago.
Yeah, I think from the previous chapter where we're saying, hey, GUIs are good, GUIs are great, now throw GUIs on everything. Right, and so this is the natural follow-up from the previous one.
Right.
Which was, hey, we got GUIs, now we got a refrigerator, throw a GUI on it. We got a trash can, throw a GUI on it. It's like, oh, okay, that's... I think on the fridge it's a little more convenient. I might check a tweet while I'm grabbing a sandwich. I think the GUI on the trash can is kind of stupid,
Yeah.
Because I can't figure out anything I would use that to control it. But it's almost indicative. Like I look at my kids doing their chores and they're plugged in their iPads walking around. And last night my youngest was cleaning the toilet. And he's in the bathroom for 30 minutes because he's watching his YouTube. And I go, man, unplug that, And so I see the browser in the refrigerator kind of reinforcing the always plugged in at all time things, which is related to the GUI everywhere. Just because we can do it doesn't mean we should.
Right.
And so this chapter's purpose is that just because you can throw a GUI on it doesn't mean you should, or in this case, a screen. Which hopefully the chapter brings it to what should you be doing instead of, well, you've got screens, so throw screens on it.
Yeah, right. He makes a point about the restaurant. I'd be interested to hear other people's opinion. I actually don't mind, it depends on the restaurant. Like at some restaurants,
Yeah, I was just telling Andrew, like at Olive Garden, they have that screen too where you can order through there, and sometimes it's easier to just do that rather than waiting for a server to come around and having to flag them down if it's busy.
Right.
So I really don't mind. Like I like this screen ordering in a restaurant.
Yeah. He says in the book, order through a screen if you're afraid to talk to people. And I was like, I feel attacked here. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I've seen it at the airport, which could be good for language barriers, and also just they have such a flux in staff.
They have that at Chili's too. I think by default I prefer to talk to the waitress.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember at one point she said, "Well, when you figure out dessert, just go here." And I go, "That's kind of convenient because you don't have to wait for her."
Right.
Yeah, you can always like flag them down too with those screens. Like if you actually do need to talk to them, like.
But I have used the drink ordering on Virgin America, RIP, and that's really convenient. Just get the Coke whenever you want, and then she comes and brings it to you. So I got to say, as far as the convenience of getting food on a plane, that's really convenient.
Yeah, and like the Delta terminal on, I forget if it's JFK or LaGuardia, but they have probably both. They have like the screen ordering, like you sit around like this rectangular bar thing, and then they like bring the food and drinks to you. Super easy.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cases where I definitely got the point, and of maybe like not every restaurant is primed for like a screening solution. But yeah, I mean, even I was at McDonald's a couple of weeks ago, and the line was just like crazy long. But this McDonald's happened to have I was just trying to get in really quick, and the drive-through line was really, really long as well. But this McDonald's had like an ordering screen, so I got to skip this entire line because no one wanted to use it, or no one was using it. So I don't know. I think there's definitely times that the screen.
Oh yeah, related to that, AMC movies, but not to other people. They have a little kiosks. So you can stand in line, or sometimes they have, depends on the theater. Sometimes you have the option where you walk up to the kiosk and bypass the human line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the one that I've seen that they had both, like a lot of people don't want to get in the kiosk line, so it's a lot faster.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the nice thing.
It depends. Like I think what we're saying is when it's more convenient, like to actually have screens, then yeah, that's like a good thing generally versus just having screens just for the sake of checking social media and like just being extra about it. Like that's not really helping.
I've had it be an inconvenience though. The last time I was at the airport, I tried to order a muffin and I waited in line and they said, "Oh, if you're ordering food, you have to sit down and use the screen."
Oh, interesting.
So I waited in line, they wouldn't serve me, so they didn't use the screen.
Right.
Oh, that's dumb.
All right. Anything else?
I've seen that in NASCAR, they give you little tablets so you can look at different drivers, different portions of the field. So even though you're in the stands, you can actually like click through on the screen and see that over there. That was pretty cool. Like enhances the experience. It's like your own little camera feeds.
Right, because you wouldn't be able to see. I've never been to a NASCAR race, but I'm guessing you can't see the entire race, right?
Yeah, you pretty much don't. You're just like a small section.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Cool, very cool. All right, next chapter. Also a short chapter. So the best interface is no interface. Chapter 4, UI does not equal UX. So we start with the quote. Yeah, we really went down the wrong path, but it's not really our fault. So the author goes on to explain these are real job postings that he's taken from offline. So we have things like senior UI, UX designer at Amazon, UI UX designer at Apple, lead user experience and UI designer. At all these huge companies, the trend is that UI and UX are always combined here. Evernote, Nook, Beats, Logitech, massive companies. So yes, UI and UX are just acronyms, and hiring managers have good intentions, but blurring the lines between these two disciplines contributes to the screen-obsessed design we see. So yeah, you can talk about innovation, right? But when you hire someone for UI, you won't get new solutions. You'll just get UI, not better UX. So essentially, when you're combining these disciplines, the author's making the point that maybe they're not meant to be combined. That UX and UI aren't equal. So he goes and says these are things like UI. There's a bunch of examples: navigation, buttons, links, lists, slideshows, pop-ups, etc. So this, and then this is UX, right? People, happiness, solving problems, pleasure, delight, smiles, effectiveness, etc. So somewhere along the line, he's saying we got the two confused. We saw a problem and we started putting interfaces on it, and saying UX is no longer about people, like the list we just went through. It's not about happiness, it's not about joy. Now it's about animations and interfaces. And I thought this was really interesting, and I think this is pretty true. Our greatest minds now are no longer working on crazy. They're now working on things like billboards and ads. How to get people to click. What's the most effective way to get someone to click Facebook ads? And he's offering there's a better path if we can only separate the two roles.
Yeah, going back to those two lists.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me if you look at that one. This is UI. It's all objects, buttons now stuff. And then you go to this is UX, and that's all emotion. People, joy. I don't know if you guys ever read Kathy Sierra's blog or her books. She was behind Head First for O'Reilly, which is a really neat multi-learning paradigm sort of thing. But she was really all about, lack of a better, and it's been so long since I looked at her stuff, awesome experience. Mm-hmm. And she was full of these emotions like awesome. You want to read and you want to feel awesome. And I think last time when I presented, I described like Keynote. Keynote lets you make this thing that looks great, really easy, and you feel awesome. And that's what makes it better than PowerPoint. It's like, oh my God, I made this fantastic looking thing in 11 minutes. I'm so awesome.
Right.
And that fits in with this. It fits in with her. You should read her stuff. I don't know if she came back to the web, but she was all about, I remember her blog was something like, Diego must remember, Kathy Sierra, her blog was called like finding enthusiastic users or something like making enthusiastic followers. That's not the right words, but it's that idea.
Yeah.
And
it was about keeping your user in a state of flow.
Right, but the title was something like words that are similar to what I said, making enthusiastic followers, something like that. But that's sort of what he's saying here. If you look at this, smiles, joy, gratification, bliss. Right, PowerPoint lets you get the job going.
Passionate users.
Yeah, passionate users.
What is it called?
Something about passion. Finding passionate users?
Okay.
Really?
Making passionate users. Anyways, you look at this one here, and that's the difference. That's the difference between, like, it used to be the thing with the Mac that I tend to feel has gone off stray, but the Mac did stuff, but you liked it. It was awesome. You felt awesome, and whatever. There's still a bit of that halo effect, but I think it's kind of false these days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's this chapter is extremely short. I think in the next chapter, I feel like he leads into the solutions. He leaves it on this. There's a better path, but I only had 3 and 4. But yeah, I mean, sort of like what I said before. I think since this book is like 6 years old, like I'd be interested. I don't know if I don't look at design job posting, but I don't know if UI UX still super combined together on job postings. Maybe I should look up and see because I feel like a lot of these things are sort of getting better. Like it's not as conflated as it once was. Like I think people have. Or maybe that's just my experience on the kind of kinds of designers that we met. But I feel like people generally have like a good idea that UI and UX are not the exact same thing. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think if he succeeded, maybe he got them to split it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking when I do a quick search, you can go to Indeed, and UX has its own thing. UX, UI.
Yeah. I think there's still very few UX only jobs.
Yeah.
It's generally still UI UX.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, it's a bigger company will have UX. The UX architect or designer and so on. But most of them are called UI UX still.
Yeah, I I don't think I ever hear people say UX by itself.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right.
But that being said, there's pages of UX positions on Indeed, so I don't know. Let me go to like Monster or something more.
Another thing that I thought was interesting, I thought about before, maybe just slightly depressing, is this quote that the greatest minds now work on billboards and ads. I think that's definitely super true. Like, just tons of people on Facebook and Google super smart that their whole job is just getting people to click through on ads.
Mm-hmm.
More just like a comment. I thought. While reading it, definitely was just like, sort of sad, but also, again, I'm sure they're getting paid very, very well for their ad clicking. So.
Yeah. So if I go on a Monster and I type only UX, I'd say, at least for the first bunch, only a couple of them are UX only.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the bulk of them are UX UI.
There's also positions like interaction designer, product designer. Like, some of these things can take on different titles, but are kind of generally the same.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so I guess that's it. Any other discussion? So you're saying we should assign 3 chapters at a time?
I think. Well, I guess these 2 chapters were pretty small. But I'm not sure if they get longer, but I think so. I think 3 at a time might be better.
I think mine was relatively short, also.
Mm-hmm.
So more time for discussion.
How many pages does this book have, and how many chapters?
Somewhere. Let me get it close.
Check the. Okay. So there are 21 chapters and 1 appendix. Yeah, 3 might be good, probably, since the chapters are short.
They're short and they're easy
Most
to
of them
read.
are short.
I'm sure they're all short. That seems to be consistent. And they're all fairly easy to read. So, okay, who's next? Who gets to be the reader for 2 weeks from now? Volunteers before we get voluntold. Everyone is terrified because they can't do as good a job as Alex did.
I'm reading the chapter titles and trying to see which one would be interested for them. But I can do the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alexis will do the next 3.
This is the first book.
5 through 7, right?
Yeah. This is the first book you can volunteer for, so.
This is true. I think it's cool just having her here. Did Jeff come? Did Jeff come to this one?
No, Jeff did not come.
The one I'm thinking about doing after this is Basecamp just wrote a new book on, I forgot how they develop product. And I thought that would be a good one that's open to non-programmer parts of Ops.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess that's it. Thank you for coming to Nested Loops and enjoy your day.
Thank you.